Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Was Banished and got a supernatural ability, guys. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, I'm really strapped on time tonight, so I don't know if I'll be able to post all of them, but I want to give you a new episode of What If Naruto Was a Smart Prodigy. And over on Anime King, I want to give you a new episode of What If Naruto was from the two greatest clans, and also What If Naruto was sent to the Marvel world. But I apologize in advance if I am not able to post all of them tonight, guys. I'm kind of strapped on time, I have a lot of things to do, so sorry for that if I'm not able to post all of them. But I do hope that you guys enjoy each and every episode tonight though. And remember, if you're new, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah. Without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails.
So, the last spot we left off, Naruto ripped apart all of the envoys, breaking their necks with his ability, as he then passed out after straining his brain too much. When he woke up, Kurama told him that he needed to get his anger under check, because if he don't, he might end up hurting people that are close to him, as Naruto realized it was the truth, seeing that his abilities are quite dangerous. A week passed after that. Danzo's been sending more envoys after Naruto to try and find him, but Naruto has been on the move ever since, so the envoys have not traced him down yet. Naruto also found something interesting with his abilities. If he focused on himself, he was able to fly, as he was flying through the woods when he heard a girl scream out. As he came to see a Kiri ninja, she was surrounded by rain ninjas. As Naruto went down there and used the ability and knocked away all the bad guys, knocking them out and tying them up. Ayo and Kojo then came, the girl that Naruto saved. Her name was Hotaru, as Ayo told him that the Mizukage would like to thank him for what he did. So Naruto went with them. If anything, he could just fly away. So Kojo asked him what was his ability, as Naruto told him it was an impressive wind manipulation, as he didn't want to reveal anything about it yet. The group then took the boat, as Naruto and Hotaru get to know each other, as she asked him about his past, as she told him that she was sorry to hear all of those bad things, but Naruto told her it was fine. The group then finally made to Kiri as they went into the building, as Naruto met the beautiful Mizukage, as he couldn't help but stare at the woman. As they started to talk, because of his hair she judged that he was a Uzumaki, as Naruto said yes, as she talked about the only Uzumaki that she knew as a friend, Kushina. As Naruto was shocked, she knew his mother, as she was shocked as well. She knew that Kushina had a son, but because of Viagra and the blood purge, she could not visit Konoha or see him. But now he was here with her, as she was happy to see him. Kushina was like a sister to her. Utakata then came in the room, as Naruto turned towards him, as Kurama told him that he's like him. As Naruto extended his hand to Utakata, both of them were brought in a white plane, with the six tails. The Rokibai was standing behind Utakata, and Kurama was standing behind Naruto, as Kurama made fun of the slug, and the slug shot back at him, as Naruto told them that he need to tell them something about the Akatsuki. Utakata was confused, as Naruto said that the Mizukage need to hear this as well, so he broke the connection as they came back in the office. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can go ahead and switch across the place and check it out for yourself, so let's start this new episode. What just happened with you two? You both weren't moving for 15 minutes, Hotaru said. Just having a private conversation, Naruto said. But now, I feel that there's something you need to know that concerns Utakata's safety. Safety? Said Mei. Yes. Have you guys ever heard of the Akatsuki organization? Mei looked down in guilt. Yes, as a matter of fact we do. Because truth is we believe that Kiri was the start of this organization. What's the Akatsuki? Hotaru asks. Naruto answered that Akatsuki is an organization composed of mutants with one goal in mind, to capture the Bijus. I have only met 2 of them and they were a dangerous pair, Itachi Uchiha and Kisame, Mei eyes widely in shock. So that's what Kisame has been doing all these years. You said that Kiri was the start of the organization, but how? Naruto said. Years ago, during the reign of the 4th Mizukage, rumors had it that Yagura was being manipulated into starting a turmoil that led to the bloodline slaughter. We believe the one that was manipulating him was the one that leads the Akatsuki, but we're still not sure, Mei said. This call for more looking into, Naruto said. I may be unable to go back to Konoha, but I can still talk to Tsunade and Eroseni, Naruto said. Mei looked at him. Naruto, you obviously have a long day. Why don't you go ahead and relax in our hot spring, she said. Utakata, show him the way. Yes ma'am, Utakata said, as the both of them started to walk out of the office. On their way there, hey Naruto. Thanks for what you did for Hotaru, said Utakata. No problem, Naruto said. She told you how much a jerk I am, he asked. No. Just nothing but respect, Naruto said. That's surprising, Utakata said. I may not have a problem training her, but sometimes it can be tiring, he said. Can't say I know the feeling since I've never been able to train anyone, but if she can say nice things like that about you, you must be doing something right, Naruto said. Thanks, Utakata said. Well, this is it. Hope you enjoy it. You're not gonna join me, Naruto asked. Sorry, but I still got stuff to do. Check you later, Utakata said, as he walked off. Oh well, more space for me, Naruto said, as he sank into the water after removing his clothes. Just like the ones at Konoha, he said as he relaxed. About 5 minutes passed, he heard the door open, as he didn't hear any voices. So he slowly removed the towel from his head as he looked over in shock to see Mei and Hotaru standing there. What are you two doing here? He asked as the both of them are wrapped in towels. We've come for a bath as well. With me here? Naruto said. This is a mixed bathhouse, Naruto, Mei said. Well, that's a relief, Naruto said. If Erosenin ever know what I'm doing here, he would be so envious of my luck, Naruto said. Who's Erosenin? Asked Hotaru. He must be talking about Jerry of the Sanin, Mei said. Yep, Naruto said. It certainly sounds like a fitting nickname, Mei said to him. And it drives him nuts, Naruto said, as the girls got in the bath, sitting across from him. Then, is Tsunade of the Sanin really your grandmother? Asked Hotaru. No, I just like calling her that. I have certain name for certain mentors I consider the closest, Naruto said. Speaking of family, you have your mother's face, but your father's eyes, Mei said. Well, I used to have his ear as well, until I dyed it red like my mom's, partly so it could be harder for some people not to recognize me. He then looked at Hotaru. So Hotaru, how did you come to be Utakata's student? Well, it all started out many years ago with my old village, back when I was in my home clan, Sochikumo, she said. You know, the Sochikumos had a link with Konoha at that time, said Mei. A link? What kind? Naruto asked. During the 3rd Shinobi War, the Sochikumo clan made a pact with the 3rd Hokage. The clan head at the time created a powerful technique that could wipe out the entire village, though Hiruzen Sarutobi, through the pact, said that it should be remained forbidden in exchange for protection provided by Konoha in times of need, Mei said. Seeing that they have such a terrible technique, they were targeted by rival nations, leading to many of the members being killed. Whoa, Naruto said, as he felt like it was the Uchiha and the Kaguya clan all over again. Yes, in a last-ditch effort, Hotaru's grandfather sealed the forbidden technique within her. Only a member of Hotaru clan can release it. As for meeting Utakata, it was 4 years ago when he fled from here because of the harsh treatment he received from being a Jinjulki. And by a bit of luck, the two of them stumbled upon each other, Mei said, as Hotaru continued. I was impressed by the skills he used to defend me against some mutinin, and I declared him as my master. Even though he tried to turn me away, I followed him until he would agree. You followed him? Naruto asked, as he could just imagine her stalking behind Utakata. Anyway, he reluctantly taught me some water jutsu. It was 2 years later when we were found and brought back to Kiri with Mei-sama here. Many of the ninja welcomed Utakata back. They weren't as blind as the others, but sadly, some of the villagers have not accepted him as the others. I also train Hotaru in a few jutsus as well, but she can be a bit rascal and get into trouble, said Mei. You're too mean, Mei-sama, said Hotaru. Naruto chuckled. You two remind me of another adult and a girl in Konoha, as he thought of Tsunade and Sakura. They relaxed as Naruto slowly closed his eyes. He then heard the water moving as Hotaru came over to him. Naruto, she said. I was wondering if you can wash my back for me, she said. She let her towel drop a little bit, exposing her clear back. Naruto blushed. You want me to? He said. Yes, please. I will really appreciate it, she said. Well, okay, Naruto said, as he started to watch her back, as she was making rather strange noises. That feels good, Naruto. Are you natural at this? She asked. Actually, no. It's my first time doing this, he said. First time? That's unfortunate. I think someone as handsome as you would do this for all the girls, she said. Well, standing in the shadow of Sasuke, make all the girls in the village just walk right past me, he said. What a shame, said Hotaru, as she continued to enjoy her backwash. Naruto, I was wondering, would you like to live here in Kyoto with us? Mei offered. What? Naruto said. Well, seeing that you're no longer welcome in Konoha, you deserve a new home, Mei said. Naruto smiled. Thanks for the offer, Mei-sama, but I have to decline. Oh? Why is that? She asked, as Hotaru looked disappointed. Because being around me now isn't safe, he said. How comes? Said Hotaru. I may be banished, but one member of their council still wants me dead. Donzo Shimura. That old war hawk? Said Mei. Yeah, a week ago he sent some of his trained envoys to assassinate me. It wasn't easy, but I managed to defeat them. There is no questions that he's not going to send more to try and find me. That's why I have to keep on moving. I understand, Mei said. As do I, said Hotaru. Well, you'll be welcome here in case you need any place to stay, Mei said. That night, Naruto was set up in a room. As he was wide awake, he was just lying on the bed, his two hands folded behind his head as he was looking up in the ceiling, thinking about the past events that led him up to here. He then heard his door open as he turned to see Hotaru. Hotaru, he said. Sorry, Naruto, but I just want to see you before you leave tomorrow, she said, walking towards his bed in her robe. No problem, I wasn't asleep anyway, Naruto said as she climbed on the bed. I also want to properly thank you for saving me. Thank me how? Naruto said, as his chin was cuffed by her hand. Through this, she said, as she planted a kiss on his lips, as it lasted for a good 5 minutes before they separated. Wow, Naruto gasped out. You were good, Hotaru said. You were even better, Naruto said. This was my second kiss. I wonder if I should tell her, Naruto asked himself. Nah. Naruto, she said. Yeah? I know this is sudden, but if you ever decide on your true future, would you make me your wife? Huh? Naruto said, taken aback by that statement. Nobody knows how many Uzumakis are left from the clan, and it would be a shame if you're the only one there is. So would you ever consider marrying me? I would be the best wife I can be, and help start a generation to the Uzumaki clan. Hotaru, I am touched that you would say that, Naruto said. But you know, being the last male member of a near-extinct clan means that I have to take up more than one bride. I understand, she said. If you ever find others to help you restore your clan, I would accept that. Really? Naruto said. I would end up taking her offer into consideration, Naruto said, seeing that I am starting to like you. As she smiled at him. I may be leaving tomorrow, but I'll come visit sometime. And when I find a perfect place to start my home, I'll bring you there. You promise? I promise, Naruto said, as he kissed her forehead, sealing the promise with a kiss. After that, the both of them went to sleep. The next morning, all of them were there to see him off. Are you sure you won't consider staying, Naruto? Kojiro asked. Can't, Kojiro. It's a big ninja world out there, and I'm gonna see it all, Naruto said. Well, come back when you can, Mei said. Will do, Naruto said. Good luck out there, Naruto, said Ayo. Thanks, Naruto said. We will never forget you, Utakata said. And stay safe, said Hotaru. I will, Naruto said. Gotta fly, as he then took off into the sky, flying out of Kyoto, as they just watched him, as his sight left their eyes. Time skip. In Konoha, Tsunade was going over her paperwork, moving a bit sloppy, while Shizune was lecturing her to take her work seriously. Then Jiraiya suddenly jumped through the window. "Well, good morning ladies," he said. "What is it this time?" said Snazzy. "Well Snazzy, you will be happy to know that one of my messenger toads has given me a message from Naruto." Snazzy bored the meter instantly vanished as she looked serious. "Where? Let me see," she said. "Easy there," Jiraiya said. "I'm getting to it." As he pulled out the scroll. As he handed her it, as she started to read. "Dear Bashan, dear Shizune-Nisan, Erosenin, and all my loved ones in that godforsaken village. I want you guys to know I'm doing perfectly fine on my own. I will admit though, I do miss all of you. Things are not the same as they used to be, and I don't really take ninja missions anymore. I managed to find myself a good job with a good pay. I do magic now. I had to really practice with it, but the kids and the people just couldn't get enough of it," Naruto said. Meanwhile, Naruto was in front of an audience as he was wearing a mask. As he held out a deck of cards as he threw them all in the air. As everyone watched as the cards froze in the air. "Wow," they all said, as they started spinning around in a tornado, as all of them came down and created a perfect sized mansion. As he even did juggling on line wires. With his ability, these things are really incredible for him. We then skip back to later. "I still haven't decided where I'm going to live, but don't worry, I'm just enjoying myself and seeing more of the ninja land. I am still keeping up on my training with the Rasengan and other techniques. Just checking in and making sure that you're all doing okay. I honestly look forward to seeing you all again, but I won't be coming back," Naruto said. "You never know though, maybe I run into some of you when you're out on missions. It could happen. Well, I got to get going. With love, Naruto," it ended. As Tsunade shed a tear while Jiraiya and Shizune smiled. "At least he's okay out there," said Jiraiya. Meanwhile, Naruto was flying through the clouds as he was activating hyperdrive. As he flew faster, soon he then came to a stop as he saw a stream down below. "I guess I could conserve my engine," Naruto said, as he's been flying for a long time now. As he was going down, Kurama then shouted, "Naruto, get out of here!" As Naruto got caught up in a storm as he was messing with his balance. "Whoa, the winds are crazy right here," Naruto said as he tried to maintain altitude. As he flew through the storm, as lightning started to shock everywhere, as Naruto managed to get out of it before another terrible breeze smashed into him and sent him flying straight down. "This is gonna hurt," he said as he crashed through a roof. He landed in water though. He then heard a lot of females crying out. Naruto then felt intense killer intent all around him as he looked up to see that he was in a bathhouse. As he looked to see, he was surrounded by multiple girls, ranging from his age and older, with most of them wrapped up in towels. As he chuckled nervously, "You all enjoy your bath, I'll be on my way." He got up ready to leave, but all of them pulled kunai on him as Naruto stopped. "What are you doing here, male?" one of them asked. "Honestly, it's a mistake," Naruto said. "Oh, it's a mistake, alright," another girl said. "You don't belong here." "I agree, that is why I'm leaving this building," Naruto said, as he wants to make a break for it and not expose his power to them. "It's not just that," a third girl said. "Men are not welcome in this village. Therefore, you're an intruder and you must be dealt with." But Naruto pointed behind them. "There's the real pervert," he said, as all of them spin around. But when they turned back around, Naruto already bolted out of there. As he was in the middle of the village, where the hell am I, he wondered. As he heard alarms and a spotlight was shining around. "Oh crap," as he started to run. "Naruto, why don't you just fly?" Kurama asked. "And ruin the chance to explain myself," Naruto said. "Besides, I need to keep my leg muscles in shape." As he saw multiple kunoichi start to throw their kunais at him, as he had to make their kunais hit the ground. "Are you going to keep running forever? You have more than enough power to take them on," Kurama said. "Alright then, I'll stop running," Naruto said, as he spun around and came to a stop, as the girls surrounded him in a mob. "Alright then, who wants some?" Naruto asked. "Attack!" as all of them rushed towards him, as Naruto summoned a few clones. "Halt!" a voice said, as all of them came to a stop, as someone was coming through the crowd, as Naruto saw a woman in her mid-30s with a slender figure, and a very angular face, by very short brown hair, with a dark shade of red lipstick. She was wearing a full body suit over mesh armor, with a pair of arm-length gloves, with an apron skirt open up in the front. She also wore bandage on her wrist, covering her left hand and her left thigh as well. And strapped to her back was an extremely long and thin katana. Everyone stand down, she ordered. But Lady Tokiwa, we cannot let a man in our village, one of the girls said. That's an order, Tokiwa said, as Naruto lowered his guard, seeing all the girls relax. As Tokiwa approached him. You there, sir, she said. Huh? That technique you are preparing yourself to use. It was a Rasengan, wasn't it? As Naruto wanted to use it to slam in the ground to blow away all of them. It might have been, Naruto said. Only 2 people are known to use that technique. One of them was the 4th Hokage of Konoha, but he's long deceased. The other is Jiraiya of the legendary Sannin. Tell me, are you an apprentice to Jiraiya? More like was, but still I did learn under him. Until I went on my own. Name's Naruto. This is just what we've been waiting for, Tokiwa said. As she turned to the guards. Take us to the palace. Lady Shizuka must learn of this immediately. Follow me please, Tokiwa said. As Naruto followed her, as he didn't know what was really up. Soon they reached a palace, when he was brought to a chamber. As he looked ahead to see a girl in a throne-like chair. She had fair skin with green eyes and long black hair, and she had a nice chest, Naruto laughed to himself. As she was wearing a forehead protector with a flower on it. It was worn by all of the kunoichis in the village though. Behold, our princess Shizuka, Tokiwa said. As she then turned to Naruto and looked at the others first. Everyone leave us. As all of them just nodded and left, leaving the 3 of them inside. What is the meaning of this, Tokiwa? The girl asked. Lady Shizuka, our guards have found this man in our village. But there is something about him you should know. Speak, Shizuka said. His name is Naruto and he's apprentice of the legendary Jiraiya-sama. The girl looked surprised. She looked at Naruto. Jiraiya-sama? Then he's the one. One what? Naruto asked, confused. First of all, Naruto, this village you're in is Pink Flower Country. Tokiwa explained. As Naruto scratched the back of his head, as he never heard of this country before. Yes, in this village only kunoichis exist and train. Wow, sounds like the type of village Erosenin would love, Naruto thought. We have been waiting for the apprentice of Jiraiya-sama for a long time now, the woman said. Why is that, Naruto asked. Didn't Jiraiya-sama tell you anything, Tokiwa asked. Tell me what, Naruto said. Well then, let me tell you, many years ago Jiraiya-sama traveled to our village. I wonder why, Naruto said in sarcasm. Anyway, our former leader, who was Shizuka's mother, chased Jiraiya until they dueled it out. And the only thing on the line was Shizuka's mother's hand in marriage. I don't like where this is going, Naruto said. Shizuka spoke, our village is matrilineal. Only women are born into our line. See what? Naruto said. Our code is that we only marry man who is strong enough to be our husband, said Shizuka. And what does this have to do with me, Naruto asked. Tokiwa continued. Jiraiya-sama and Shizuka's mother fought to the peak of their strength, but the duel was left unresolved. It was then a compromise was made that if the students of the 2 warriors should ever meet, they would duel it out for the same price in the line. Wait, so you mean that Naruto was shocked as Shizuka approached him and took his hands. Please duel with me, Naruto. Should you win, I would gladly make you my husband. Naruto stumbled back. Hey, this is also sudden. I mean, I was just told this. You can't honestly expect me to go along with some promise Jiraiya made. Denying your request to duel will only bring shame to our village. Tokiwa tried to reason with him. Well, sorry to disappoint you, but I am no longer a Erosenin student, seeing that I was banished from Konoha. Banished? Shizuka said. Yeah, I've been on my own for a while now, Naruto said. Enjoying my time. Enjoying my liberation, he said. Liberation? That's what you call your banishment? Tokiwa asked. That's right, and more to this point, I will have to pass on this marriage duel thing, he said. Please, you must do this. For Shizuka's sake, said Tokiwa. Sorry, but that isn't really my problem. I have to go, Naruto said, as he was prepared to leave, but 2 guards blocked him. Even if you do try to leave, you are still considered trespassing in our village, Shizuka said. How did you even wind up falling into the bathhouse without crossing the entrance of the village? Tokiwa asked. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, Naruto said. Regardless, Naruto, we are giving you an ultimatum, Shizuka said. Duel with me, or you will be killed. So now what? You're gonna escape now? Kurama asked. Not just yet, Naruto thought back. Alright then, I accept your term, princess. A wise choice, she said. She then turned towards Tokiwa. See that our guest is properly welcome here and make arrangements for tomorrow's match. At once, my lady, Tokiwa said. Soon, Tokiwa showed Naruto to his room where he was setting for the night. As they called him, as Naruto was at a table, eating dinner with the princess and Tokiwa. Wow, this sure looks good, Naruto said, as he looked at all the food. Eat up, Shizuka said, as Naruto ate the food rather quickly. You know, you ladies are really nice, Naruto said. You should consider yourself lucky we don't really treat man this generously, Shizuka said. I'll take your word for it, Naruto said, as he continued to eat. After dinner, Naruto was out at the balcony, as he was thinking about his whole situation. I'm gonna have to fight a Kunoichi for marriage tomorrow? Yeah, I mean, how lucky can you get, Kurama said. You know if I win I'll have to marry her, right? And if I lose, well, I'm not gonna think about those consequences, Naruto said. It won't even go that far. With marrying her be so bad, Kurama asked. Well, she is hot, Naruto said, but I barely know her and I'm on the run from Root. I see your point, but maybe you can make this your home if you do succeed. After all, Root envoys won't be welcome here if they do sneak in. Suddenly, Naruto was broke out of his thoughts by Tokiwa. Naruto. Oh, Tokiwa, Naruto said. I sense that you're distressed, she said, as she took a seat next to him. I am way past distressed, Naruto said. When I woke up this morning, I wasn't counting on an arranged marriage proposal for something that my master did years ago. I know it is sudden, but I should tell you this is more than a promise between your master and Shizuka's master. But it is to restore Shizuka's belief in love. Huh? Naruto said. Perhaps I should explain why she trained so hard. You see, she always believed, despite how the village uphold their tradition of making man husbands by proving themselves. Many years ago, she was in love with a merchant named Sajiri, but due to our village custom, their love was forbidden. But he was killed, and she resigned to never love again, to never open her heart again. Since then, she's done nothing but train to become stronger, so no one will ever best her, so no one can ever get close to her, for her to lose them again. She's just punishing herself. Oh, so that's it, Naruto said, understanding a bit. Yes, I'm hoping you fighting her will be able to break through that demeanor of hers and get her to love again, and not shut herself off. As Naruto started to process all of this was much more than a promise made years ago. Alright then. I'll be ready for tomorrow, Naruto said, as he gave Tokiwa a smile. Really? She said, as she saw the change in his behavior really quickly. Yeah, when it comes to changing people's outlooks, I've been natural at it, Naruto said, as you remember about Inari, Gaara, and Tsunade. I thank you, Naruto. You have no idea how much it's mean to us. Don't mention, Naruto said. When morning came, all the Kunoichis were gathered in the arena, as it was similar to the Chunin exams. On the field stood Naruto and the princess, until Tokiwa walked out. Welcome, Kunoichis. Today we all bear witness to a long-awaited match between our dear ruler, Princess Shizuka, as the crowd of Kunoichi cheered her on, and her challenger, the student of the legendary Jiraiya-sama, coming all the way from Konoha, Naruto. As Naruto got a ton of bulls from the ladies, but he couldn't blame them. They didn't really know him, or he hasn't even proved himself yet to them. Let the match begin, Tokiwa said as she stepped away. Prepare yourself, Naruto, Shizuka said as she dashed forward, Gale chop, as her right hand glowed with wind, and she thrust it forward. As Naruto quickly jumped back as the ground below them exploded. Wow, she's good, Naruto said, as he pulled a kunai, but she leaped up in the air as she had multiple kunais. Aerial dance, she said as he threw the barrage of kunai who had deadly accuracy. But Naruto didn't even move a step, surprising all of them. And then all of the kunais just fly past him. How did he do that? One of them asked. Princess has never missed before. Something is wrong. Well, he must be special if he was trained by Jiraiya-sama, a third one said. I am not done yet, Naruto, Shizuka said as she jumped, spinning the wall, as she spun her entire body as multiple Senbon needles came towards him. As it was a great portion of them, Naruto raised his hand up as all of the needles came to a stop, as a small drop of blood came from his nose, but he instantly wiped it away. He deflected all of her needles just like that, a Kunoichi gasped. What is this boy? Gale fan, the princess said, as she blew Naruto away, but he flipped in the air and landed. She then dashed forward ready to use another Gale chop. This is kind of getting boring, Naruto said, as she then came to a stop as her entire body was lifted off the ground. What is this, she said as she struggled in the air. My special ability, Naruto said. I have never dealt with anyone who's able to escape it, Naruto said, at least not yet. As he looked at her, as her hands went behind her, as she couldn't move a single muscle, she was stuck. No one's ever bested me before. I suppose you win. Go ahead. Deliver the final blow, she said. Naruto scowled as the Kunoichis gasped as he lowered her back to the ground, surprising them. I have no reason to deliver the final blow. But our duel, she said. It will prove nothing if I finish you off, because I bear nothing against you or this village. But the thing is, I don't live by your village rules. I marry for love and not force. Love, she said. But before she could say anything else, there was a loud crash in the arena, putting everyone on guard. As a man came in, piloting a mechanical puppet along with dozens of other mechanical puppets. At last, princess, I have come for you, the man said. This again, said Tokyo with a frown. You know that guy, Naruto asked. His name is Kokuya. This man has been stalking the princess for months now, wanting her to marry him. He keeps coming back with those puppet devices, but he's never done a full frontal attack like this before. Shizuka shouted at the man. You're butting in on our private matter, she said. So sorry, but I came here with one thing in mind, and that's to make you my bride, he said. And I'll do it by force, he said, as his puppets started to swarm into the arena. Protect the princess, said Tokyo, as all of them jumped into the arena and started to fight off the puppets. As Naruto was watching all of them fight for their princess, he then saw the princess as she was caught by the main puppet. Shizuka, Tokyo said. I got her, Naruto said as he created 4 clones. He then raised his hand. What the hell is going on, the man said, as his puppet stopped moving, as it was then ripped apart by Naruto. As Naruto then fly up in the air as he caught Shizuka. Miss me, he said, as that made her blush slightly, as the other clones held on to the man up in the air with their psychic hold. And now, you perverted bastard, trying to take woman by force, Naruto said. Even when you were turned down. Have some of this, he said, as the clone created a Rasengan, as he drove it straight into the man's stomach, as that sent him flying away. As all of the villagers cheer, as their princess was safe. I am sorry everything was cut short, my princess, said Tokyo. What's done is done, the princess said. Besides, I already know the victor of this match. He's proven himself worthy to me, she said. She looked at Naruto with a smile. Naruto is the winner, she said. I didn't win because of my strength and jutsu, Naruto said. It's because I had something to fight for. And that was, she asked. To bring you back to your senses, Naruto said. It is painful to lose someone you love, I can tell. But training yourself like crazy to protect those that you care about can only get you to so much. But unless you are able to love, it will be hard to protect those who mean much to you. Believe me, I know. And if I am to marry you, if I am to accept your terms, I don't want it in this way. You don't really know me and I don't know you. I don't want us to be forced together by law. She was surprised by his words, as she remembered Sajiri and how much he meant to her. And this boy just defeated her. And he showed her something she has been missing so long, as she could only shed a tear. Thank you, Naruto, she said, as everyone started to cheer. Later that night, Naruto was sitting at the balcony. As the princess approached, Naruto, can I ask you something? Sure, he said. Why were you banished from Konoha? As he looked at her and wondered if he should tell her. But if the Mizukage could handle it, and Hotaru, perhaps he should tell her as well. My tale is very complicated. Perhaps you should sit down. I have to begin from the start, he said. As she sat down, as Naruto told her everything. I had no idea, she gasped when he was done. Well, it's all true. The stuff I said about Kurama and Sasuke was legit, Naruto said. What a horrible life you went through, she said, as she was very sad at this moment. Yeah, but that's all in the past, Naruto said. I only have a select few memories in my head now of the people that were actually good to me. But you did not deserve banishment. You did nothing wrong, she said. Everyone said that as well, Naruto said. But the counts and the civilians are biased against me, just because I not like them and they hate me. And with root ninjas after me, things are only gonna be more complicated, he said. Maybe you should stay here so that they won't trace you here. After all, we're now engaged, she said. I appreciate the offer, but I must pass on that, Naruto said. I want to see all of the ninja land. Plus, the Akatsuki's are targeting me. If anything should happen to you because of me, I would never forgive myself. I understand, she said, sounding a bit disappointed. Don't worry though, Naruto said. If I ever settle down and meet a place where I can call my home, I will bring you over there so we can start a family. You, me, Hotaru, and anyone else I might meet on the way. She smiled. I would love that, Naruto. And also, how did you manage to do all that stuff to me and to the man and his puppets? I am a very skilled wind manipulator, able to use the elements in ways that many others cannot, he said. I see. Well, that's amazing, she said, as she gave him a hug. Sorry, Naruto thought. Well, maybe one day I can trust you and the others with my secret. Just hang in there. As they breathed the hug, perhaps you and I will have a wonderful life in the future, she said. She then took his hand and placed on her chest, surprising the hell out of Naruto. Though you may go on a long journey, I will always keep you close to my heart. Oh, she's put down her heart, Naruto said. Whoa, calm yourself, he said to himself. As she then leaned in close and gave him a kiss. As Naruto kissed back, she then felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. This feeling of love. As her emotion just exploded inside of her. As she's been bottling everything up for so long. When they breathed the kiss, she had sparkles in her eyes. The next day, Naruto stood with her and Tokiwa on the building top. We will miss you, she said. Likewise, Naruto said. You will always be welcome here, but next time, use the village entrance and not drop through the bathroom roof, said Tokiwa. I'll keep that in mind, Naruto said. Be sure to take care of yourself, Shizuka said, as Naruto smiled to her. I'll see you ladies, he said, as he started to levitate. Bye now, he said, as the both of them waved him off, as he vanished. As Tokiwa looked over, knowing that the girl had changed from meeting Naruto, this boy was surely a blessing that had come in their village, as she was happy for him, and happy for what he did to the young princess. Time skip. Naruto was asleep in his camp, as he found himself in front of Kurama's cage. Kurama, what is going on? We have a guest, Kurama said. A guest, Naruto said, as Kurama nodded his head towards behind Naruto, as Naruto turned to see a hooded figure. What the hell is that, Naruto said. Naruto, it's a Shinigami. The Shinigami? You mean that thing you call death? No, I don't want to die yet, Naruto said as he started to step away. Stop your babbling, boy. The Shinigami removed his hood, as he had pale skin with short black hair. Huh? I expected you to be like Skeleton. The Shinigami sighed. Is that a ridiculous fantasy that you humans see us as? Why are you here, Naruto asked. I have not come here to take your soul, boy, but to introduce you to others that are special as you. Special like me, Naruto asked. Yes, that power you have over telekinesis. It is not unique, and you're not the first to gain it. I wasn't, Naruto said. No. Before you, only 3 got the same power, but they died at a young age. Who were they, Naruto asked. See for yourself, the Shinigami said, as he raised his arm and then lowered it. He revealed 3 boys, around the ages of 16 to 17. One was black, while the other 2 was white. The 3 boys approached as a black kid noticed Naruto. So this is the heir to our legacy, huh boys? He does look like much the other boy said, as he looked like he had bags under his eyes. Guys, you know he's standing right there, the third one said. Who the hell are you people, Naruto asked. The third boy spoke. My name is Matt Grady. This is my cousin, Anjo Detmer, and this is our friend, Steve Montgomery. Nice to meet you, Steve said as he held out his hand as Naruto took it, as Steve shook it. Hey there, Anjo said. And you are? Matt asked. Naruto Uzumaki, or Namikaze if that worked for you. So you 3 have the same power as I do. More like had, Anjo said. Then that means you guys found the same object I did underground. That's right, it gave us our psychic power, Matt said. So what were you three like before you died, Naruto asked. Well, I was your average guy, not a loser, but not quite popular, Matt said. Me, I was a popular guy, Matt said. I was even running for our class president. Anju looked down. I was cursed with bad luck. Cursed, Naruto said. Anju then spoke. Before I acquired the power, I lived with my mother and father. My mom was very sick from cancer and was close to dying, no matter how many medicines she took. And my father, well, he made life a living hell. I knew a better way for you all to understand each other, rather than listening, Shinigami said, as he raised his hand, as memories started to flow through all of their minds. As Naruto saw everything, seeing that Matt and Steve were the more popular guys, but he gasped of seeing Anju. Indeed, his mother was very sick, but his alcoholic father would abuse him out of his own frustrations, making him feel like crap. At school, he would be considered a freak for documenting himself with a camera. After they acquired their powers, he saw that they used their powers for fun. But he noticed Anju unintentionally steer a vehicle off the road, with the driver dying inside while hitting the lake and drowning. Things got more hectic when Anju's father continued to beat him, forcing him to push back and fight with his power. He was blind by his own frustrations. He actually struck Steve with a lightning that the storm that he was flying in. As he continued to watch as Anju was pushed off the deep end as he tried to steal money to help his mother in the hospital, but he was caught up in an explosion and placed in the hospital himself. As he saw the father there crying, as Naruto wondered if he really did care for his son. Unfortunately, he cried because Anju's mother was dead, and he blamed himself for going out to look for his son, and he hated Anju for that, as Anju wanted to kill his father to take his life, but Matt was there to stop him. As Naruto saw that Anju and Matt went into a battle in the city, putting hundreds of lives at stake, as Anju was so blind with corruption and hatred and frustration, Matt had to kill his own cousin by impaling the both of them with a spear. The boys also saw Naruto alive. The link ended. Whoa, they all gasped. Guys, you really, Naruto said. And you have a Steve said. I did, Naruto said. Wow, and I thought my life was crap, Anju said, recalling the pain that Naruto went through. As the four boys started talking, they getting to know each other better as the Shinigami supervised them. But guys, that'll be ending this episode right here. And if you enjoyed, remember to comment down below and tell me that you want another part, guys. And also get this one to 200 likes as usual. But for now, I'm out of here. See you guys soon. Peace.